Serbia and her neighbors. Tumultuous times of the 11th century. During the Byzantine-Bulgarian War, from 976 until 1018, Serb lands were also drawn into the conflict, mostly on the side of Byzantium. Historical sources are scant, and fragmentary news allow for very limited conclusions. Essentially, the Bulgarian Emperor Samuil maintained good relations with his western neighbors until the beginning of the 11th century. The focus of war against Byzantium was in the Greek lands, in Thessaly and towards Thessaloniki. Around 993, a Serb delegation took off by boat to meet Basil II in order to reach an agreement on an alliance against Bulgarians. Close to the island of Gymnopelagision, near Mount Athos, their boat was attacked by Saracen pirates and crew captured. They were saved by the prior of the monastery, who paid ransom for them, so that Serb delegates continued their journey. It is not known what went on with their trip and whether an agreement with Basil II was reached. It looks that there still was a Byzantine-Serb alliance, for in 1009 Samuil began a big offensive against the Serb lands and Byzantine holdings in northern Albania. Bulgarian army entered southern Dalmatia, unsuccessfully laid siege to Ulcin, then took and burnt Kotor, from where they took the relics of St. Tryphon. Samuil continued his march towards the north, ending it around Zadar. From there, Bulgarian forces crossed back across Bosnia and Serbia and returned home. Vladimir, the Duke of Duklja, was, after being captured, first taken to Ohrid and imprisoned there, but after marrying Samuil's daughter Kosara, returned to the throne as Samuil's protégé. Samuil gave to Dragomir, his uncle, Travunia to rule. Apart from the ancient areas of Duklja, Samuil also entrusted Vladimir with governing the northern area of the city of Dyrrhachium. Bulgarians lost the city in 1004, so only the northern area of the former Dyrrhachian Thema was left for Vladimir to administer. As a Bulgarian protégé, he did not take part in Bulgarian-Byzantine conflicts, for Byzantine writer John Skilica claims that the area was calm while ruled by Vladimir. It is not known what went on at the time in Serbia. It is unknown whether Samuil supported some loyal Serb Župan, or the land was simply divided under the rule of various Župans. Vladimir lost power after the change on the Bulgarian throne, when the Bulgarian Emperor John Vladislav invited him on the 22nd of May 1016 to come to the Bulgarian capital, Prespa. He was killed after leaving the church, and his body was transported from Prespa to Krajina, an area around the lake of Skadar. It is interesting to note that Vladimir was one of the first Serb rulers to be proclaimed saint. Vladimir's life, Žitije, compiled shortly after his death, was preserved in excerpts in the work of the priest of Duklja in mid-12th century. The cult of Saint Vladimir was revered in northern Albania, south of the river Shkumba, in the Župa of Spata, until the modern age. Probably from that time, there is a custom that the cross of the pure Mother of God of Kraina is taken each year to the Mount Rumia, where the Church of Holy Trinity was located. The monastery where the relics of Saint Vladimir are kept is located in the valley of the river Kusha, to the left of the road Elbasan-Skadar. Albanians venerate him under the name Shin-Jon. In 1381, the monastery was renewed by Charles Topia, the Lord of Dyrrhachium. Following the decline of the Bulgarian Empire in 1018, for the first time since the settling of Serbs, Byzantium had most part of the Balkan Peninsula under its control. At the time, Byzantine authority was also acknowledged by the two brothers who ruled Croatia. In return, they were granted Byzantine court titles and subjugated themselves to Basil II. All Dalmatian cities south of Zadar were firmly in Byzantine hands. An administrative division of territories was executed in the interior. Apart from the theme of Bulgaria, which included large part of Macedonia, with the seat in Skopje, the themes of Serbia, Morava and Sirmium were established. Mountainous and inhospitable parts of the Central Balkans probably could not be held under Byzantine rule with the help of military garrisons, but only through local lords. This is probably why Bosnia, as the least accessible area, remained beyond direct Byzantine rule. It seems that Ljudovit, the Lord of Zahumlje, was granted the title of Protospater and the function of Strategos as a Byzantine administrator who held Serbia and Zahumlje. The dukedom was re-established in Duklja with Stephen Vojislav as the Byzantine protege from 1019. He was also in charge of Travunia. Already in 1035, Stephen Vojislav tried to secede from Byzantium. His attempt failed, and he was brought to Constantinople. It is not known how long did he spend in captivity, but after several years, Stephen Vojislav managed to escape, returned to Duklja, and organized an uprising in 1040. The cause for the war was the booty of 7,200 gold coins, which he obtained after a Byzantine shipwreck near the coast of Duklja. As he did not want to return the money to the emperor, who sent him several letters from Thessaloniki, where he stayed at the time, a Byzantine military offensive followed. The Byzantine army, poorly commanded, came from Dyrrhachium. According to Byzantine sources, it was up to 60,000 men strong. Stephen Vojislav first retreated into the interior with his army, and when Byzantines ventured into the inhospitable terrain, he met them in ambush and crushed them. Hardly anyone from the Byzantine army survived. Through this victory, Stephen Vojislav paved the way for the independence of Duklja.